Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome back to anyone who's been practicing with me through the video for the last couple of years. Welcome to anyone new who is finding the video for the first time. There are lots of videos you can look back on, and there'll be lots more to come in the future. I often practice with a chair. I don't have my chair today. I'm going to be staying mostly on my mat. If you are seated in the chair, of course, by all means, go for it. Find your chair. Find whatever props you like to practice with, and you can do the practice in the chair, but I'm going to stay mostly on the floor today. We're doing a nice, gentle, stretchy practice today, really focusing on slow, stretchy postures. So if that sounds like something you want to join me for, go ahead and get to your mat, and I'll meet you there myself. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be mostly on my mat today. I wouldn't mind starting standing for a couple of breaths though before we move down there. Just got to straighten my mat out. It's a little crooked. It makes me feel like off of a balance and off center when my mat's not straight. So as I mentioned, if you do want to practice in your chair, go ahead and grab it. If you have props, blocks, straps, bolsters, anything that you might generally practice with, go ahead and grab that as well. I also have a pretty thick mat. I'm going to show a couple of postures today where we might be on our knees or on one knee. So if you want to find something that you can put under your knee, if that does bother you to be on your knee like this, go ahead and find something for that as well. Like I said, my mat's quite thick, so I tend to not need extra support, but you can always roll up your mat as well. That's an option. Okay, let's get started. Again, whether you're seated or standing with me, we want to spend a few minutes just coming into the moment, finding a bit of quiet in our body and our minds so that we can really focus on being present for the next half hour, 40 minutes or so. You've managed to get to your mat. It's your time. So we want to just make sure that we really get rid of all the, oh, I wish I had, and all the what ifs, and really just focus on being here. So if we're standing, go ahead and maybe rock back and forth, side to side on your feet. Really feel the feet connecting to the mat. You can lift and spread toes a little bit, going forward and backward, side to side. Just feel the feet connect to the mat. Feel the weight transfer from side to side. Just start to tune into your body. And maybe bring a bit of awareness up the legs, into the core, the shoulders. And if it's comfortable, go ahead and close the eyes. If not, just turning the gaze down towards the floor, finding something nice and still to gaze at. We'll scan our body one more time from toes to the top of the head, and then from top of the head all the way down to the toes. And then we can start to turn our awareness inward to our breath. Just start to notice where the breath is flowing and where maybe it's getting stuck. Do you feel like you can take a deep breath in and sort of send the breath all the way to the fingers and all the way down to the toes? And on the exhale, does everything kind of draw back in towards center and back out through fingers and toes? Inhale and exhale. Try to find that fluid movement between inhaling and exhaling. Take a couple more breaths here, and if it's in your practice to create a motto, a mantra, or a little dedication of your practice to yourself or someone else, go ahead and do that now. This can be anything that resonates with you and your body today and at this moment. Taking a few more breaths here. And then if the eyes are closed, maybe turning the gaze, opening the eyes, giving a couple of blinks just to reacquaint yourself with the space around you and the light. And then let's inhale, we'll bring a bit of movement as we sweep the arms up. And then we'll just exhale the hands back down to our sides. Inhale to reach up. Exhale. One more time, inhale. Exhale here. Good, let's roll the shoulders a couple of times, backwards and forwards. Let's just set the feet a little wider, just so we feel nice and stable. Again, maybe lifting and spreading the toes here. Awesome, let's take a big inhale, reach up. This time, let's exhale, bring the hands behind us. We can clasp the fingers if they reach. If not, we're just gonna pretend to hold on to an imaginary volleyball. Really feel the opening through the front side body here. Feet are nice and a little bit wider than shoulder distance. Opening up through the front side body. Then let's release the fingers as we have them and inhale, sweep up again. And this time we're going to exhale, bring the hands in front. Again, we'll clasp the hands if we can. If not, we're holding onto an imaginary ball and reaching that ball forward and finding a bit of a rounding through the spine here. And then we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach behind, open up. So it's a little bit like a cat-cow. Hands can clasp if they reach. If not, just hold on to that imaginary ball and release. Inhale here. Exhale, let's turn the palms facing towards us or pulling away from us, round through the spine. Good. Inhale. I'm just going to turn to face the camera again. Exhale, clasp those hands or reach for that volleyball. Open up. One more time. Inhale here. And draw the hands in front, round through the spine. Let's add on. Let's inhale here. Exhale, reach the hands behind. You can stay nice and lifted, or on the next exhale, hinge forward into a forward fold. The arms will reach back or up, and we'll find a forward fold. Knees are bending deeply, and we're draping the belly on the thighs. Stay for a breath here. And then we'll hinge all the way back up, pulling ourselves up from the knuckles. Inhale here, release the hands, roll the shoulders. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, let's draw those hands in front, round through the spine. Inhale to reach up. Exhale behind. Again, stay lifted. Reach for the ball, clasp the knuckles, or exhale, fold forward. Inhale to come all the way up. Release the hands, roll the shoulders. On the next inhale, reach up. Let's draw those hands in front. Find that rounding through the spine. Release the hands, inhale. Last time, let's bring them behind. Stay lifted, or on the exhale, fold forward. One more time. Inhale to come up. Let's release the knuckles, reach the hands up. Exhale, bring the hands all the way down. Roll those shoulders, good. Let's shake it out. Let's step the feet a little wider even, and we'll come into a little bit of a squat position here. So a little bit wider than shoulders, and toes are facing out towards the edges of the mat here. Let's sink into our squat. Hands can come up shoulder height here. They can open up. If these levers are too long, the option is to always make the levers shorter by bringing hands to shoulders or keeping them at heart center. So that will shorten the lever, create a little less tension on the shoulder. So paying attention to how our arms are feeling, finding our goddess pose here. Let's hold here for a couple rounds of breath, really feeling the breath. Inhale up through the core. And then exhale, see if we can sink a little lower. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little lower. Good. Option to bring the hands down to the knees here. Take a big inhale through center. Exhale, drop the right shoulder in towards center. Find a twist. And then inhale. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, right. Inhale through center. Exhale, left. Last time on each side here. Inhale and exhale. Find the twist and the dip. Inhale, exhale. Good, let's inhale through center. Let's come all the way up with straight legs, reach the arms up, and then exhale the hands through heart center, release, and we'll step the feet back in, give everything a little shake. And we're going to head on down to the mat, and we're going to get into a little bit of stretching. Like I said, lots of time on the mat today, nice stretchy option. I just want to create a little bit of heat in the body so we could start to get a little deeper into our stretches. Now, options to come down to the floor any way that feels safe for you. If you are looking to flow through a bit of a vinyasa, option is to step to the top of the mat, find your mountain pose. Once you're there, settle in, take a big inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's exhale, hinge forward like we were doing in the warm-up. Coming all the way down, we can bend the knees lots here, rest our belly on the knees. Good. Then we can come up halfway here, find a flat back, and then exhale again. Let's plant the hands. We can step back to downward dog or our tabletop position. So tabletop will be coming to knees, downward dog, pressing the hips up and back, finding a little bit of a stretch here. Keep a nice deep bend in the knees as we're still warming up. If you're in downward dog, option to bend one knee, then the other. Stretching out the hips a little bit, backs of legs and calves. If you are in your tabletop, option to flow through a few rounds of cat-cow, tilting the tailbone and then rounding through the spine. Option to flow through some barrel rolls or circles, any movements here, moving back and forth even. And like I said, if you're in downward dog, option to bend one leg, then the other. Keep moving, keep stretching. In downward dog, keep sending the hips up towards the ceiling. In tabletop, keep finding nice intuitive movements through the core. We're going to stay wherever you are for 2 and 1. Now, if you're in tabletop, staying where you are. If you're in downward dog, let's bring the knees down as well. We'll meet everybody in our tabletop, uncurl the toes, and then we can all send the hips back and find a child's pose. Now, child's pose, lots of options. We can open the knees up to make a bit more room for the belly and heart center, or we can have the knees a little closer together. Whatever feels best, make your way down, find a couple breaths, breathe into the backside body. Let's lift the forehead. We're going to walk all the way over to the left, and then the right hand's going to sweep across. See if it can connect to that left hand here. And with hips nice and heavy, we'll try to lower the body back down, feeling a big stretch down the right side body. We'll inhale here through center and then walk all the way over to the left, the right, and the left hand's going to try and find that right hand. We're going to keep our hips nice and heavy and try to melt down, feeling a big stretch down left side body now. All right, let's lift the forehead, come on back through center. Let's bring the hands and walk them back in towards ourselves. And you'll find you'll be sitting on your shins. And I think option here, I'll just turn to the front. If we're sitting on the shins and this feels like enough, you can stay. If it feels like a little too much and you have a block, you can slide that underneath the sit bones here, just stretching out the quads a little bit. And here we are, we're going to come up onto our knees in a moment. Option here to stay if this is enough, or reaching back either onto blocks, fingertips, the floor, and opening up through the front side body. And even if you're looking for a little bit more, we can lift and send the hips up towards the ceiling. So a few options here for a nice chest opener, front side body opener. Notice where you're feeling sensation and stay for 3. Keep breathing for 2. and 1. Lower down wherever you are. If you've been leaning back, we're going to use our core strength to help bring us all the way back up through center. Roll the shoulders or roll through a couple rounds of seated cat-cow. Inhale to reach up, exhale round. All right, let's come off of our shins here. So I'm going to remove the block from underneath me there. I really love sitting on my shins, but it does get a little intense. So that block just really helps me be able to not necessarily to stay in that position a bit longer and enjoy it more. It's not taking away, it's just helping me enjoy that position more. So never be afraid to use your props to help you enjoy a posture a little bit more. Okay, let's come off of our shins here. Off of our sit bones and come on up to our knees. So this is what I was talking about. If you want to double up your mat to put some cushion under your knees or finding a blanket or pillow, by all means, go ahead and do that. We're going to come into our gate pose. So for our gate pose, we want to come up on one knee. We're going to step one leg out to the side. I'm stepping my left leg out to the side here. Toes are facing forward. Hips are facing forward. I'm going to tuck that tailbone under. So from the side here, we're trying to align the hips and the knee, okay? I don't have room to do it that way, so I'm going to face you. Just know that I've got the hips tucked and I've got my hips aligned over my knee, and that's why you can really feel that sort of pressure in the knee, and that's why the extra padding might help. From here, let's inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, let the left arm drop, find that left leg as the right arm reaches up and over. So now just kind of like in our child's pose, we're finding that big, nice side stretch here, down the right side body, finding your gaze either forwards, up underneath the arm, or down at the floor, wherever it feels comfortable for your neck. Nice, big side body stretch here. Stay for another full cycle of breath. On the inhale, come on up. On the exhale, let's see if we can windmill all the way over to the other side. Now, if you have a block, you may want to put it here to help bring the floor up. You may want to try and find the floor and keep pressing those hips forward. Keep aligning the hips over the knee. Reach the top arm up. And if you have room and desire, maybe that top arm can reach up and over. I'm going to move down just a little bit here and see if I can find that space. There we go. So now stretching down the opposite side of the body. Keep sending the hips forward, making sure that the weight is being supported by the knee. Top arm can be up, it can be down. Remember, we're taking care of levers and joints. Nice long stretch. Option to even lift the back leg and reaching through toes and fingers, adding a little bit of a strength and balance element. It's optional, otherwise toes can be down on the ground. We're going to stay for 3, 2, and 1. On the inhale, and a little bit of momentum. Let's come all the way back up. Let's just swing right over, counter stretch. Awesome. And then we're going to come back through center. And we'll switch sides. Whew, give that leg, that knee a little break here. So now we're going to set up for this side. We're going to step our right leg out, toes face forward, hips face forward. We're going to draw the hips under, line the hips underneath that knee. Make sure you add your padding if you need to. Take a big inhale, reach up. Exhale, let's let the right arm find the leg as the left arm sweeps over. Good. Keep drawing the hips forward. Remember, gaze is anywhere it feels comfortable for your neck. And stay for 3, 2, and 1. Using our core strength all the way back up, and we'll keep windmilling to a block or the mat. Top arm reaches up, we shorten it, or you reach it overhead, creating a huge big long line of energy here. Keep drawing the hips forward. And remember, option is to lift that back leg, add a strength element. Ooh, and balance. There we go. All right. Yogi's choice for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's use a bit of momentum and strength. Come all the way up. We'll just do a quick little counter stretch here. Good. Let's come up through center. Step that leg in. And let's sit down. We'll roll onto one hip here. So I've rolled onto my right hip. I've sort of stacked the knees and ankles. We'll come into our Little Mermaid pose. Or not Little Mermaid, it's the Mermaid pose. So hand can rest on ankle. We'll sweep our right arm up and then just lean over. So again, a little bit of a side stretch here. Let's come on up through center. We'll lower the right hand down, plant it into the floor as we step the top leg back. So we're going to end up with a sort of like our participation legs here. And we can stay in our participation legs, or we can press into the right hand, lift the hips up and open up through the front side body on opposite side here. So we're sort of up on our shins, or we're staying with our participation legs. And we'll stay for 3, 2, and 1. Let's circle all the way back down. And then before coming out of these participation legs, we're just going to make a small adjustment here. I'm just bringing my legs onto the mat. They were off the mat and it bothered my heel a little bit. So just shimmy so that you're on the mat. And we're going to come into a bit of a modified pigeon pose. So this is sort of our deer pose where we have this nice open, these nice open legs. We've created 2 little 90-degree angles with our knees. And then we're going to turn towards that front leg and start to melt down as much or as little as feels safe. Now, if you have your block as well, you can bring the floor up to you and rest on that, or you can rest forehead on the block. So a few options here. It's like our deer pose. It's just a nice gentle option instead of pigeon. So finding a nice option, lower yourself down as much or as little as feels okay. Just breathe into the core and the backside body. And then when we're ready, let's lift our forehead. If it's down, we'll walk ourselves all the way back up. Let's see if we can windshield wiper those legs a little bit. So stepping the legs in front, hands behind to support. Just rotate through the hips. And then we'll come into our mermaid pose on the other side. So I'm going to roll into the opposite hip, stack my leg over top of the other leg, hold on to my ankles here, and inhale to reach. This time my left arm up and over. So here's our little gentle side bend in our mermaid pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. Remember, if the levers are too long, we can always shorten the levers. We don't have to lift the arms at all if it's too much on any of our joints. And we have one more breath here. Let's come up and over. Let's open those legs up again. So we've just stepped into our little, participation. I'm dating myself a little bit. If you can picture Hal and Joanne talking about participation, this is what this looks like to me. But it's essentially like a little lightning bolt, Z shape. And we can stay here if this feels good, or we can press into this backhand, use the top arm for a bit of momentum and lift the hips up, open up through the front side body. And we'll stay for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's lower the hips back down. Good. And again, I'm just going to make that little adjustment where I can make the have my ankles onto my mat here and opening up the legs a little bit. They're creating 2 45-degree angles. And if you are practicing with a block, go ahead and grab your block. This time we're going to turn to that front leg, which is our left leg, and lower down onto forearms, or maybe the mat or a block instead. Melt down. Find this nice reclined deer posture. Breathe into the back. Excellent. Let's start to lift the forehead. We'll walk ourselves up, moving the block out of the way if we were using one just then. Again, let's windshield wiper those legs a little bit. And then we'll come up to seated. Let's come into a straight leg forward fold here. Work on getting a bit of stretch down the back of the legs, especially if we didn't come into that downward dog at the beginning of class. We haven't really done much stretching for the back of the legs here. So we'll sit up nice and tall. We want to move the fleshy bits out of the way, sit up on the sit bones. If you find you're sort of rolling through the pelvis and you need some help to get up nice and tall, you can roll your mat up or put a towel underneath and sit up on that. That will help you find this nice tall posture. And we're going to pretend we're glued to a piece of wood here to begin with. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Then you can't go any further, hinging at the hips. So imagine you're trying to aim over the toes, not down to the thighs here. Nice straight leg, and those arms are coming down to meet the floor. Wherever they fall is perfect. Stay here with this nice flat back for a couple rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, inhale to lift up, and then exhale, move forward, and if we like, all the way rounding down. Alrighty, we'll lift the forehead. We'll walk our hands all the way back up. Good. Let's draw the right foot in, plant it beside the inner left thigh here. And then we're going to cross it over. We're going to come into a twist. So the right hand's going to come behind to help support us. We're going to inhale, sweep that left arm up. And as we twist, the left arm crosses the body. Now the elbow might hook over the knee. Maybe we just want to give that leg a hug. So finding your twist. We don't want to use it too much to yank us into this twist, but holding onto the leg, whether with elbow or arm, and pressing that right arm into the mat will help us find some length and depth in the twist. We're going to stay here, maybe even looking over the back shoulder for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's untwist here. Let's quickly just reach towards the side, a little counter stretch. There we go. Good. Let's uncross the legs, straighten it out, give them both a little shake. Excellent. Let's draw that left leg in now. Come into a twist on the other side. So energy through the leg that's extended as well. We're going to inhale here. Left arm's going to come behind us. Plant it really close behind. Let me show you. It's not really out here. We don't want this in our twist. We want to plant this left arm way behind us. Press into the mat to help us sit up nice and tall. And then we'll sweep the right arm up. And as we twist, that right elbow will find its way across our body. Or maybe we're holding on to the leg here. But pressing into the mat, holding onto the leg, helps us grow tall in the inhale and deeper on the exhale in our twist. And we'll hold for 3, for 2, keep breathing, and 1 on the inhale. Let's release, come around to the front, just lean over, little counter twist there. I'm going to swing my legs back around to the front here. Let's come into a butterfly. So now we'll gather both legs in, soles of the feet come together, hands will be wherever it's comfortable, maybe on our ankles, maybe grabbing onto soles of the feet, maybe wrapping peace fingers around the toes, wherever you feel comfortable. And we'll sit up nice and tall, take a nice deep breath, and then again hinging forward with that long spine like we're glued to a piece of wood. Find your edge, stay there for a bit. Elbows can help open up the knees or not. You can play with how big the space is between the feet and the body here. It will change the sensation. Find what you like. And after a couple moments here in the straight back posture, if we're ready to melt down and even round through the spine, go for it. Option here as well is to reach the arms underneath, if that helps find a little bit more depth in the posture. Maybe not. Breathe into the backside body. Really feel those shoulder blades splay apart. And when we're ready, let's come on all the way up. We'll draw the knees together, and I'm just going to turn sideways so that we can make our way down to the mat. Any way that feels safe, you can use a leg to help you get down there, using it as a lever. And we'll draw both legs in towards the belly when we get down there. We can rock side to side here. Massage out that low back. And then we'll come through center. Let's drop the left foot down to the mat. The right foot, we're going to flex it and cross the right ankle over left knee. We'll let the right knee fall open. You may stay here. It might be enough for you using the strength of your right leg to open up into your figure four, or you may want to use your core strength and lift that left leg up towards the body, thread the needle, and draw that left knee in towards the body a little more, increasing maybe the stretching sensation on the outer right hip. So this is now our figure four. It's reclined pigeon. We did our deer pose. This might feel a little more intense than deer pose. Keep energy through the flexed feet. Keep breathing for another round. And then when we're ready, we'll release the hands, release the foot, uncross that leg, and switch sides. So this time we'll take the left foot, cross it over right, let that left knee splay open. This might be enough, or you may want to thread the needle, reaching through and drawing that right knee in towards center. Keep finding your breath. Keep coming back to your motto or mantra, checking in with how we're doing. And then when we're ready, we'll release that leg down to the mat, uncross the feet. Good. Step the feet wide here. Let's windshield wiper a little bit again. And if one side feels good and you want to come into a bit of a gentle twist and stay there, you can bring hands open on the floor, along the floor, or in a T or cactus, and just find a gentle twist. Or you can keep windshield wipering the legs. If you came into a twist, let's bring the gaze through center, bring those legs back up through center, and then maybe let them go to the other side, looking over opposite shoulder. Let's bring that gaze back up through center. We'll bring the legs back up through center. Let's do one front body opening just to end our practice. We'll come into a bridge. Option is a restorative bridge. If you're practicing with a block, you can press into the feet, lift the hips up, rest the sacrum, so like the low part of the back onto the block, and you can come into a restorative bridge. Or if we're looking for something a little more active and back bendy and opening through the front side body, we'll step the feet about hip width distance. We'll walk the feet as close as we can to our glutes there. Bring the hands down, turn the palms down so you can press into the arms, and we'll lift the hips up on our inhale. So press into hands, feet, squeeze the glutes. Inhale to open up through the front side body. If it's in your practice to walk the arms underneath to help open up a little further, go ahead and find that. So let's find this nice front side body opening for a few rounds of breath here. Keep lifting the hips up, keep pressing into the feet and hands, and we've got 2 more rounds of breath. Making sure you can breathe. If not, ease out of the posture a little bit, finding that breath for 1 more round. And on the exhale, walk the hands out, lower the hips down. And then one final time, let's draw those legs in towards the center. You may even want to curl into a little ball. You might want to rock side to side or draw circles with the knees in same direction or opposite direction. Really anything here to help just massage out any low back sensations that you might be feeling. Use up any last little bit of energy. Happy baby is an option. Or if you're ready to move into your Shavasana now, go for it. I'm going to do 2 more circles here. And then I'll feel ready. So whenever you are ready, option to keep the legs bent, maybe step the feet a little wide, knock them in towards each other, or send the heels out to the corners of the mat, arms down by our sides. We can turn the palms up to invite in that last bit of energy as we move into our Shavasana, and scan our bodies and just see if we can notice any places we might be holding on to any tension still, and see if we can just let it go, just for even a couple of breaths. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep, and that we need both every day. And we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. And the beauty of practicing through the lens, of course, is if you would like to stay or want to stay or need to stay in Shavasana for any length of time, let the video play out or press pause now. If you're ready to bring movement back into your body, you can wiggle through fingers and toes and circle wrists and ankles. Maybe you want to curl into a little ball or stretch along your mat one last time, just before rolling over to one side and making your way up to a comfortable seated position. And from here, we can all take a big breath together. Let's inhale, sweep our arms up overhead. And then exhale, draw all that energy back down towards heart center. We can rest hands on heart center in prayer or back down towards our lap. I want to thank you for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to be your guide through this gentle, stretchy practice. I hope it's exactly what you needed, and I hope to see you again here next week. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I hope that a little bit of stretching and movement was exactly what you needed, no matter what time of day it is or where you are. And I hope to see you here again next week. Take care.